Hello, I got booted again as usual. So I'll hang on here, see if anybody pops back in. If not, I apologize again as usual. Hello, everybody. I got booted again as usual. Crazy, I'm sorry. Always get booted, 45 minutes in or something. I don't understand it. It's just, look, probably Walmart is doing this to me. It, I don't like it. Are you saying there's no way they could have a back office people? It just seems impossible to go through everybody's phone records every day to make sure that they are following the rules. It doesn't make any sense. It's the job. The job's not that good. I mean, there's too many other jobs, and I didn't know they were using the drive cams. There are a lot of people do use them. Yeah, maybe I should get my internet from Walmart. Maybe that would do better. And I like getting the ladies on the burner phone. That's nice, right? Ah, somebody single posting that, of course. Look, this just, I had no idea. Is this the only, anybody else have to turn in their phone records? That's crazy. Who's got to turn in phone records to anybody? Turn all your records in. Give us all your information. What do you print them out or give them? Oh, you could give them access to it, I guess. You could give them access to it. So what you need to do before you work there is buy the burner phone and give them that phone number as your number. And then they're the only ones that would have it. So, if it rings, it's them calling you. And then you could still have your phone for whatever you wanted. You wouldn't have to worry about it. And you'd say, look, it's a prepaid. Because what do they do on this? If you have what do they do? A lot of people do have prepaid phones, and they don't get a bill because they just pay the phone, in advance. So, what does somebody like that do? Or what about somebody that doesn't have a cell phone? We actually have some drivers who apparently are from 1950 that don't have a phone. What would Walmart say about that? You go, I only have a home phone. Oh, just tell them you only have a home phone. And then don't give them, and then you don't, right, that's your solution. Tell them you don't have a cell phone. And then just only give them your home phone. If you have a home phone, or just the VoIP through the internet, just give them that phone number. Let them call that all day, right? I got one of those, I don't even have a phone plugged into it, because it came with the deal or whatever. Or forward your phone to the other, oh, right. You could do that too, right? Just don't let them have. I wouldn't let them have the phone records. No way. That's enough to not work there. Who gives up phone records? I see why you quit now. And if they're asking for phone records, that's crazy. They have thousands of drivers. How would they ever keep up with that? They'd have to have hundreds of people because they'd have to physically go through these records and say, all right, here's a long call, and then this driver was over here driving. I mean, that's crazy. That's almost impossible for them to do. It would cost them so much money, it just doesn't make any sense. They should just have a policy and then just let all the brown nosers turn you in, which is what would happen. I totally agree with that. There's no end to that at any company. It doesn't matter what company you are, there's always somebody that will turn you in when they see you, oh, he's doing one little thing wrong, let's call the boss, because they think they'll get in on the good side of it. But that's insane. Maybe that's why they started running ads for drivers, which I didn't really used to see. I just kind of put it off to that the industry just needs drivers, because they're running a lot of ads, for drivers, which you didn't see that much. So they don't say in their ad you have to turn your phone records in. I guess that might cut down on the people calling. That's another reason they get these students, although they still take experience, because they may not know better and think, oh, well, I guess in trucking you just have to turn in your phone records. They have to get people that know something. I'm gonna for sure post about that when I find that out. That's insane. They're gonna go on the list for that. If turn your phone records in. Here's my phone records. If there's any problem, they'll request your records. Right. They probably do that. Right. Driving recklessly. Yeah. Right. So then, right, because then they have the camera, and that'll turn on, that'll alert them, that Lytx camera, right, any little thing, and then they can say, give me your phone records, because you've agreed to it when you started. You signed the sheet, so you agreed to it, and then you go, oh, so then you have to produce them. All right, that'd be better, right. So then they can use it, like, you get fired from your own phone records. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you give them, when you start there, if you give them a prepaid number, you give them a blank piece of paper. You go, here, I don't use my phone for anything. I wonder what they would say about that. Or you've given them a home number. You say, I don't have a phone. I don't have a phone. That's the answer to working there. If you still want to work there with the drive cam, which I don't like the drive cam either. But given either a prepaid phone that you give them the number, or your home VoIP, or a home phone if you still have a wall phone plugged in the wall. Depending where you live, you don't have good internet service, apparently, which is right here still. And give them that. And has anybody tried that? You can say, right, it's an integrity, but there's no way for them to know that. There's no way for them to find out if you have another phone. That'd be really tough to do. Especially if you give them a burner phone number, so somebody says he was on the phone, they go, yeah, he's got a burner phone. Well, the Fifth Amendment applies to criminal cases, right? That government can't force you to testify. The Constitution, right, only prohibits the government from doing that. Here, you're agreeing in advance. You're saying, okay, this is a private company, right, and which is anywhere but the government, and I agree that if I have a problem, I'll give you my phone records. This isn't a Fifth Amendment. Walmart isn't charging you with a criminal act. They're not charging you with a crime. Like the government can't force you to testify against yourself. The government would have to get a subpoena to get your phone records. Walmart, you agree to give it to them. You say, all right, I like this job so much, I will give you my phone records when the camera goes off or when you don't like me. Yeah, seeing you sign it in advance, that's what we're saying here. And they probably put it like a car. I imagine it's not like a car dealer. When you go into the finance office and they have all these papers, you go, oh, just sign, just sign, just sign. And they just throw all these papers out, sign it, sign it, sign it. You don't even know what you're signing. And then later, somehow they go, oh, at the back of this page where you initialed and signed, we need your phone records immediately. And if you don't give them to it, I'm sure if you don't give your phone records, you're fired because you agreed to it. And so then they're saying, well, no phone record, you're fired. So absolutely. But the Fifth Amendment is to hold you in a criminal case. And since Walmart can't charge you, that's it. Okay, it was Jeannie that went there. Okay, so now we have an answer right here. Jeannie says, and I thought it was Sue that worked there. It's Jeannie. She used to work with us. You can only park if there's a noise ordinance that prevents it. Okay. Her terminal checks phone records in an accident. Okay, right. So there, it's verified, right? Not that I'm saying anybody's a liar, okay? I just didn't know that policy, so don't take that like I'm saying somebody's lying, okay? For sure. Each terminal has different policies. Okay, so they can check your phone records, right? And like you're saying, any incident, anything that goes on, you boo-boo, like you said, right? You scratch, the thing goes off. Oh, please give us your phone record. That's crazy. Why does she still work there? She's never mentioned that. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, good. I'm glad you're back. I'm back too. I got booted and I apologize. Right. So that is no good. And and that's frustrating if each terminal has different policies. So you transfer and then you use some different policy and you sign this at one terminal thinking one thing and then you transfer to another terminal and it's something different. That's more frustrating than the rule. At least the rule is the same everywhere you go. It's like the DOT when this officer gives you a ticket and then this other officer doesn't for the exact same thing because they interpret it different or they feel differently about it. That's very, very frustrating. And if they're at Walmart micromanaging you and then asking for your phone records, I mean, what are they thinking over there? Especially now with the pay up, that used to be a really much higher paying job than other jobs. Now with the pay up everywhere, their job is, into the standard type of pay. It isn't as high a pay as it used to be compared to the rest of the industry. Okay, and our driver that went over there says she loves it and she won't ever leave. Well, some people, and she's a great a great person, okay, and a good driver. And we were sad to lose her here, but that's not for me. I'm not agreeing to give them my phone records. I mean, the camera at the Walmart truck, the lytics is bad enough. But then to, take here, you have to give me your whole phone record. You can't just, you're not going to block it out like it's a security, thing with all the black blocks on it, right? They're going to be able to look through all your phone records. They're going to find out what doctor you called. What if you called a psychiatrist or something, right? What if you called for another job? Oh, that's interesting. So maybe you called for another job and they know that. They see this number of some other trucking company. I don't like that at all. That's none of their business. What I use my phone for on my free time. It could be on my free time. And maybe I'm looking for a better job, or I have some kind of medical condition that I don't want them to know about. Maybe I'm going crazy, which is certainly possible. Maybe stock options, they probably have, and it's private, so you probably get some kind of, partial ownership. Money, once you give up your freedom like that for a little bit of money, I don't think so, right? They say, right, you give up your security, for free, and you don't have either one. You don't have either one. You're not free if you're giving up your privacy. That's for me. Who I call, that's none of their business. Two steps too far. First being cab cam. Right. The dash lytics cam, they're getting pretty widespread. I don't like them. They come on, bumps. They get to turn them on. I don't care what everybody says. Okay. The company can turn it on and watch you. I know they can do it. You've heard 1,500 drivers quit in the last several months. Back after 15 years back to working every weekend. Well, depends, what it pays for you, but 15, did they just start this phone thing then? Is that why drivers are quitting? Because if they presented that to me after I worked there, I'd be like, no. Although they could say then, okay, well then you have to quit. You have until a certain date to agree to it, or you're fired, basically, because they can do that. All right, and they don't have profit sharing. Well, that's too bad because they're always very profitable. That was probably a big deal. So they're lower. Basically, when they take stuff like that away, companies don't realize when they do that, they're lowering everybody's pay. They don't like to say it like that. But if they take away profit sharing that I used to have, my pay is down. And they'll say, oh, no, you still get the same pay. That was extra pay, right? But no, that's not true at all. That's a pay cut, and you shouldn't have to take a pay cut. As you work somewhere, your pay should go up. It shouldn't go down because they all add all these 10 things and they take 2 of them away and they go, oh, well, you still get the same. Your base pay is still the same. It's still a pay cut. That's not, pay cut is a pay cut. When they take something, it's a cut. It isn't they're reducing a bonus or whatever. It's a pay cut. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it to you. You got to go. I agree now, right? That isn't any good. Okay, yeah, it's a pay cut. I agree, right. My company doesn't allow, people ask me this every once in a while, right? They don't allow me to do videos and they, to have them in it. So I don't say who I work for because I want to help drivers find a good place for them. And they get all weirded out about that. Oh, you don't speak for us and all that. So I just don't say where I work for just to keep it so that I can talk about anything in the trucking industry and they have nothing to say about it. And that's why I do that. If you see me on the road somewhere, you'll see me, right? Usually fueling out of love someplace. But other than that, I can't really say. I just don't talk about it because I don't want them coming in and saying, well, now you got to clear this. They have the big social media policy or whatever. So that's how I go it really. No, a bunch more typing. Right. I totally agree, right? I can already see that there's way too much to say about it with just these few things. None of the vloggers can help. Okay. What are we helping with? Okay, I missed it. Right. Okay, came up a false positive, been fired. Right. Yeah. When they do a urine test, okay, at least for us, and this is how it's been for me really my whole career. I remember they do 2 samples, right? They split it. You can ask for the second sample to be tested. You should be able to ask for the other sample to be tested. But the problem is that if you get a positive, even if it's a false positive like that, they can fire you. And really, they can fire you for any reason, really, or no reason. But this, right, and there are false positives. I don't like it, right? I don't like the test like that. There are false positives. Have them do the second sample if they still have. You know what I would probably do then? And if they don't have it, or it's too late, it's probably too late, right? Go down there and pay for your own test. Have it done so that you get a clean test. And so that you have some kind of ammunition and say, look, right after that, I went and tested, right, this is a false positive, and they wouldn't do anything about it. There's not a lot else that I know that you could do about it because they are allowed to fire you for any reason or no reason, and that's disappointing. And the false positive can really affect you getting another job. I'd probably get another job quickly if I could because of that. Does it stay on your record? Yeah. Okay, sample B was negative. See, I'd go back to the company and say, look, this other sample's negative, at least retest me. You know, that's fair. One positive, one negative, say, look, I want to go back in there and retest. That's your best bet, you know, to retest it. And especially if you have proof the second sample of the same, the same was negative, right? That is great for you. And say, look, I tested negative, so I want to retest. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. They should. That's how I would handle it. If the second one did negative, I'd just retest you again. This is, and stand on your record, they can probably report a positive because it did come back positive. They probably can report it because it was. But if you have the record and say, look, that split sample was negative, half negative, and so it didn't test right, it's a problem. You need to go rattle their cages, right? Rhino is right. You need to go back there to that company and get them to put you back on and say, this is ridiculous. I don't want this on here. Yeah, right. And some places say that. They say a positive is a positive. But the split was negative. So what do they say about that, right? I'd retest you. I don't know why they won't retest you. What's the point of that then? That's why they split it. The second comes out clean, you should be fine on it. It should be fine. I'm sorry they did that. They shouldn't do it. That's why they split it. Because when the first, then they go test the second one. It's a problem. Rattle their cages. You're going to have to just keep yelling at them. Yeah, they booted him, that's for sure. And that isn't right to do to somebody who would then test negative on the second sample. And who's doing the hair follicle? Oh, right. Yeah, what if you don't have any hair? They say take the positive, thanks. Well, they take the positive. Okay, they take the positive. Well, that's not even smart. I mean, if it's a split and the second side of the same one is negative, they should think, oh, we should retest this guy. Obviously, there's some kind of problem with the test. Some companies just don't think. Maybe it's not the best place to work. But if you test a negative on the next one, I guess if they're going to do positive, there's not a lot you can really do about it other than making them try to rehire you. Otherwise, you're going to have to work somewhere else. And I agree. They're on top. They may be above Walmart in this crap candidate list. And what does somebody do if they're bald on the hair follicle test? Or do they get a hair from anywhere, as they say? Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't help you any more than that, Travel. It's a problem. It is a problem. And I agree, Ryan. If it's split, they should have retested you. As soon as that came back positive and negative, I'd have sent you back down to retest. That's how I do it. I go, look, it came back 1 and 1, go back down there. Without accusing you or anything. Because it's only 90-some% accurate. It isn't 100%. It's not 100%. There's a lot of drivers in this situation. It's disappointing, and there's, it's all on the company side. The power on that is on their side. There's not much drivers can do. Yeah, hair follicle test to 6 months, that's okay. I mean, I don't do drugs or anything, but I'm just saying, what if you go in bald, you don't have any hair? We got some drivers that are bald. Do they need to pull a hair from a different location? That's what I'm saying. There could be one somewhere else. And who goes and gets that? Who gets that job at the lab? It's great. Or do you send it in an envelope or something? No, they probably want to watch it, right? They probably have to take it themselves. So be like, which one of you lucky people's getting this one? Awesome. That'd be super funny. I'd make it'd be a big laugh. I'd probably get fired for it, but it'd be super funny. They haven't done the hair test yet. I think it costs more. That's probably why they're not doing it. Yeah, right. Everybody be shaving, right. You see me no beard. I had a beard for 30 years, right? You'll see me no beard, right? Oh, look at me, right. Those are the ones you got to really test when they shave immediately. I'm shaved. I get nair my whole self. Yeah, what if you went in with no hair? That is a good question. You could literally nair your whole body and go in with no hair and go, well, I don't have any hair. Yeah, see, I mean, that's the problem. Say what, where they may get a hair from somewhere else. It may be not as pleasant to get. Just yank it right out of there. So, I don't know if they can test. I assume that all your hair they could test. It probably doesn't matter. Oh, yikes. Butt hair. Yikes. You go, I only have hair there. You got to go get that. But I assume that any hair, it shouldn't make any difference, right? I don't know. That's not my science, right? I'm more a physics person, but I assume any hair would work. It should grow and, but some grow at different lengths or whatever. I don't know. Ah, yikes. Do they sell one of those at like CVS, the Curly Q test kit, for like home use? For like your teenagers or whatever? Yeah, here's the Curly Q test kit, right? You can do a home test on yourself to see if you pass. Do they, is a random qualify? I didn't even know that qualified, really. I thought it had to be a urine test. I didn't know that a follicle test qualified as a DOT test. Didn't I read somewhere that it's not a legit test yet, that they're only doing it for themselves? Maybe not. Maybe that has changed. But I thought that the DOT was considering, FMCSA was considering whether to allow that, but they hadn't allowed it yet. That's what I thought. That's how I thought it had worked. I have to read up on that. Because, yeah, right. Exactly. What if you have alopecia, right? And you literally don't have any body hair. You literally are hairless. Then, then they have no hair and it's not going to grow. You didn't cut it off. So maybe then they just do a urine test on those people. Yeah, exactly. Right. And too soon for Jim Varney, right? Too soon. Think about him. Bring the room down. Yeah. Well, if you had alopecia, okay, it's legit. That's a medical condition. You don't have any hair. There's no reason you couldn't get a doctor's note for that to take to have with you. Absolutely, your doctor right out. Yeah, this guy's a hairless. He has alopecia. He's hairless. He's not going to have any hair. So they would have to find an alternative way to test you because you have a medical condition that prevents you from doing that. There's nothing you can do about that. So they'll have to urine test you or whatever, right? So, but I didn't think that the follicle test was a legitimate DOT allowed test. I thought it had to be to pass a DOT test. Now companies can hair follicle test you every week if they want to do it and pay for it. But I thought the urine test was the one that DOT accepted as the one passing. We go the same here as everybody, right? We're random. And, I'll go a year, 2 years without having a random, and then I get 4 randoms, in the same year. Every 2 months, they're like, oh, come on in, Trucking Answers, and take another random test. Because that's what they call me, so. Right. And so then you get a bunch of them, and they pay us. At least we get paid to go over there. When you go take a random test wherever, they pay you here. So, and you should get paid for that. I think, as a side note, as I always say, you should get paid for all your time, and we get paid for it. Yeah, see, I think that's right. Knight's doing both, and I think the urine test, I think they have to do when you get hired, because I think that's the only one that qualifies as a DOT-approved drug test. That's what I think. I think I read that right. So they can do the follicle for themselves. That's when my beard gets wild. It's been wild. I got it all trimmed up, looking good now. Okay. Rhino is going to offer up some urine for everybody. That's awesome. As the next person comes in is the police. But look, they have, and I've seen it, you're not allowed to use it, disclaimer. Okay? It's illegal. Don't use it. It's for entertainment purposes. They have a fake phallus, shall we call it, and that you can use. And you heat up the fake urine, and you can use it, okay? And it's available online. You can look it up yourself. I will not be posting a link to it on the website, truckinganswersnation.com. I will not be putting a link to it, but if you're interested, you can look that up yourselves. What the ladies do, I'm not sure how that works. Oh, out of your nose. But look, alopecia, no hair. It's hairless, right? That is a medical condition, right? Legit. You wouldn't have hair in your nose or anywhere else. So those people would have to do a urine test. And I think the company would have to accommodate you. Now, that's something they would have to accommodate. You'd ask for a medical accommodation. Even if they only do this follicle thing, you could say, no. I have a medical condition that you know about, right? And so, you have to give me an accommodation. I'm asking for a reasonable accommodation. So since there are other alternative ways to do it, they would have to they would have to do that. They can do. They'll have to send you for a urine test if you legitimately don't have hair. If you just shave your hair and nair it off every day, I think that's on you. But if you came with a doctor's note, yeah, they're going to have to give you the test that you need to pass. And really, right, we shouldn't be doing drugs anyway, right? So we're drug free here. We're going to say that, of course, as as we talk about that, so that they can all hear that. Is it that serious just to make 50,000? Well, you can make more than 50,000 now, certainly. But yeah, 50. People do. People will do. People that are on drugs will do whatever they need to do to, continue to use drugs and still keep their job. So there are places that sell this fake stuff and all that, right? They're doing, and it does. And some people pass it or whatever. And I don't know. From what I know, the hair follicle costs more because they got to send it to some lab with some guy in a coat, a lab coat, or a woman, right? Has to go investigate it or whatever, right? Where the urine test, I don't know what they do with that, right? I think they just put it in the back room. I don't know. You're too old for that stuff. You're never too old for a hair follicle test. That's for sure. Somebody said, oh, okay, right. Yeah, okay, good. You're never too old for that. Hair follicle, anything like that. And a lot of companies are doing that stuff. And as I asked, right, does Knight have these drive cams too? Is Knight using these Lytx drive cams? You'll know it because it's in the windshield. If they're not, that's good. Finally getting a forklift. All right, good. You're going to stick it on the back of the flatbed and roll it around yourself? That's awesome. Yeah, you do need a drug testing company. I don't know what they charge, $100 or whatever. You just roll drivers through. We go over there here to the one here, it's packed full of drivers. It's it's $50, $100 a piece or whatever. Every few minutes, another person's rolling through there day and night, constantly. Yeah, Rhino, we'll see you later. Be sure to get everything strapped down, and we'll see you on the road, of course. Yeah, so open your own drug testing company. Get out of trucking, but stay in trucking with your own company that tests drivers. The cat is walking on my feet. That's why she's all about that. So, okay, so we're at 2:15 here. We're going to be wrapping it up. And I just want to pop in on Friday, of course, and then pop out, get booted off. So I apologize for everybody. Right, okay, good. Forward cameras, right. The camera should only point out, look, Swift, right? Swift, let the drivers cover the camera facing them. That's how much it is. The camera should only face out. Out-facing camera, no problem, because that can save you. Looking at me, right? No way. It's wrong to just watch you while you're in there. I would just stare at it all day. If we had those. I don't have one in my truck, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's no good. Okay, Lytx stores 100-hour video at their facility. Yeah, that thing. Look, Lytx says it records all the time. It's a continuous loop. The camera, it's a Lytx, Lytx, right? Drive cam, it's called. And it records a continuous loop. That's how when it has an incident, it can lock the seconds before the incident happened because it's always recording that time. And it stores that time. Otherwise, there's no other way for it to have 4 seconds before. The camera doesn't take off out of the truck and go into the past like Marty McFly. It's always recording. And at any time, no matter what the company tells you, they can grab a shot or watch you because it's always recording. So they can hit a button there and grab a section whenever they want it and see what the heck you're doing. They can do it. It constantly records. It's the only way to record in the past. Think about that. It is the only way that they can record 4 seconds before, 8 seconds before, whatever it is. There's no other way to do it. What are my options on hot shotting? Look, if hot shot is for you, right, I'm in. The only part of hot shotting that I know is from Jay, right, at Auto Transport Intel, which, of course, as I always say, the live show is 8 p.m. Central Tuesdays over there on YouTube. And he has a lot of car haulers that are hot shots, right? And they have a 3 or a 4 car hauler that they pull behind a pickup truck. I think, personally, you'd make more money because the pickup truck should get better fuel mileage. But, it depends what the loads pay. I don't know what the loads pay on there. I've been a company driver for a long time, and I've never had a hot shot. But it seemed, if you were getting 15 miles to the gallon, say, and I get 9 in the semi, so I'm just assuming $1,500. I'm assuming 15 miles to the gallon. You got to make more money, right? At a buck 50 a mile or whatever, you could make money at 15 miles to the gallon because you just have to. And it's a $500 fine if we park in commercial parking lots. Yeah, some places there's these huge fines. That's no good, right? How many years have I been driving? Just over 30 years. July was 30 years for me. I started at 21. Now I'm in my extreme upper 30s. So, and I have a little over 3.5 million safe miles. No tickets, no accidents. Yeah, 2,800 mile, 2,800 a week good in trucking. Well, I don't know, is that miles or money? Oh, that's the question. Either way, it's good. I would say $2,800 would be better than 2,800 miles. Yeah, $2,800 of money. Yeah, but then again, is that gross or net? Right? Do we pocket $2,800? Because you'd have to gross, threes. If you're an owner operator, you'd have to gross $5,000-$6,000 to take $2,800 home. Huh. I do not work for Red Gold, which is what I assume Red Gold is. Right. So 2,800 net is tremendous. Oh, thank you very much, Fast Joe. I really appreciate that. Thanks, and thank you for being here and coming back. As I got booted off, I super appreciate it. Yeah, but $2,800, is a ton of money. It's a ton of money. If you're netting $2,800, you should post that up there and say, I net $2,800 here. That's really good. But remember, you're quite welcome also, Tony. And I appreciate, everybody coming in. But like I put in my video Thursday, look, whatever you make, right, if it's enough for you, if you like your job, that doesn't mean that you're not successful. Because I've seen a ton of these videos, if you don't make this, you're not successful or whatever, you're just a loser. No, you have a good job, you like it, they treat you well, the camera only faces out, whatever it is, right? And it's a great job, it gets you home when you want. That's success. That is what success. You don't want to go to work every day and hate your job. That's horrible. That's horrible. My stepfather, right, worked at the steel mills because we lived in Hammond, Indiana. He worked in Gary, and he hated that every day. Talked about it all the time. Hated working at those steel mills. He made good money. We had a new car every 2 years, right? He owned an apartment, and, we went on vacations, and he hated it. He hated it, and he died in his early 60s, probably from stress of it. That isn't any good. If you don't like what you're doing, look how many hours we're at work. Tons of time. If you don't like that, that's half the battle. If they'll treat you like a professional, that is super great. What is a good number for a driver's second year? 1 day off every 1250 guarantee. Yeah, okay, there's 62.5, right? Right there. And see, that's the thing. What's a good number? Well, part of that is where you live, LA, right? Versus middle Indiana here. And the question is, what's a good number for you? And can you make more than the guarantee? Is it a guarantee or a salary? Right? Like we have a guarantee also, but you can make more. So yeah, okay, Eleanor, you're right next door, right? We could go over there. But $1,250, do you like the job? Or do you hate doing it? So it pays $1,500 if you hate it every day. Oh God, I hate getting up. No, you want every day to be Saturday. You don't want every day to be Monday. If I'm eligible for 6 days in a row off, right? Okay, so you can save up the off time, right? So you stay out and come home. Look, if that works for you, that's what matters. I can't compare it to everybody else. That's got to be your thing. Does that work for you? If the money work, the job work, the time off work, the benefits work, that's success. That is success in trucking because there's everything to do. Everything to do. Home daily to gone all year, never come home, and everything in between. Every kind of trailer, pulling all over the place. There's everything. If that works for you, that's what matters. So do you like it? Do you think it's worth it? That other places pay more, other places make more than I make, and I don't go anywhere. I've been here over 16 years, right? And I just stay here. Other places can pay what they want, right? Where you're treated well, that's well worth something. That's worth probably more than you can get paid because they pay you. If they treated you horrible, what good does that do you? What good? Your money, you go home and then you yell at your wife and she leaves you and you hit the dog, right? And you're mad all week and then you're dreading going back to work, whatever day you go back to work. What the heck good is that? So you made $1,500, $1,800. So what? You got to enjoy it, and have the time off that you want. That's what I think. So if it works, absolutely, it's good pay. If it's $800 a week and it works and you pay for everything, well, we don't really want to hit the dog though, okay? But people do that, right? So we want to leave the dog alone. And if it's 800 and it works for you, bingo. There's a job. Hogan in Indianapolis is advertising a straight truck at 950 a week. Okay, for a B license. Okay, so if somebody takes that job and drives that truck and they love that job, and because that's 8 to 5, it says every day, home every day, 950 around town. What's wrong with that? That's great. That's success. They got a license and went in trucking and became a success because they got what they wanted. They got what they wanted. I found a company that hauls the same freight that I do, but you get 2 days off a week and the guarantee is 1100. Well, it depends. How much time off do you want? See, would I switch? I don't know. Depends if that's enough time off. 2 days is better than no. See, I take it, I like time off, right? So for me, my wife has a good job, so that would be better for me. But I'm not you. If you got to decide on your life, right? That's the thing. Which do you think is better? Do you want the more money? They guarantee 1100. You still might be able to make more money. So, and how are you treated? The number one reason drivers leave, and I read about this, right, is treatment. Number three is pay. Number three, 2 is home time, 1 is treatment. Third one is pay. The money isn't, necessary. As Sam Crowley says, right, everything is figure outable. So we can figure that out. Right? But is that better for you? Do you have little kids at home? Do you need to be home, right? Somebody's got to feed that dog that you were just kicking in a few minutes ago. You still got to feed it even though it's mad at you. Right? That's the thing. Which one works better for you? What I do, you may not be the right thing for you. I want you to do what you want to do. What do you think you should do? Sounds like a psychiatrist that would say that. What do you think, right? But it is true. Because I might like it or not like it, you may like it or not like it. We have people that come here and leave after a few weeks or a month, and I stay. They don't like it, but I like it. There are haters out there. Yeah, right. Everybody, I appreciate that I'm making points here. Everybody has a different situation in debt, right? So it just depends. Maybe you don't have any debt. Maybe you're all on the Dave Ramsey. You're all about Dave Ramsey, and you got no debt. Your wife's raking in the dough. You're balling in a $400 car. So that's fine, right? And so then $1,100 to you is probably more than $1,800 to somebody who's got 3 car payments and a $1,700 mortgage, and all that. So all that has to be figured into it, and so they have to be gone. I've seen that. People say, oh, I got all these kids. I got child support. My mortgage is $1,700. My truck payment, they have a $48,000 pickup truck, which is $750 a month. Yeah, they got to work a ton, right? I'm like, well, forget all that, right? Go buy something used, right? Work for HB. I'm not sure what HB is. They have been my crap company. They treat me like crap. Well, they have been my crap company. HB. And they treat you like crap. Well, if they treat you like crap, you should leave anyway. You should look around and leave anyway, because that is worse. It frustrates you the whole day. I started in trucking with debt. Right. Well, look, you can always get out of debt. It's just hard work, right? Or I went bankrupt years ago because I had so much debt, probably $400,000, and I ended up bankrupting out of it because that's all I could do. I would never have kept up with those payments. That may be something you have to do. You'll have to decide that. It depends. If it's not that much, you could pay it. If it's, closing at $500,000, you're just going to have to start over. You're just going to have to throw in the towel and start over. There comes a time when you're like, I just got to start over. There's nothing I can do. But the treatment, that's the most important thing. Oh, Hirschbach. Nice. I was mad at them mainly because of their lease program, which is a horrible deal. And I made a thing about their 99-cent fuel, which is hosing drivers. It just hoses drivers. It doesn't, you lose money on the 99 cents. And I don't think a company should make money on fuel that you're buying. They shouldn't make a profit on that. You should make that money, either save it or whatever, and their 9 cents, their 9 cent a thing, what am I thinking? Maintenance. Oh, right. Is a lot also. I don't think it is any good. That's why I'm mad at them about it. Right. But look, people work at these places. When I did Prime, a ton of people wrote and said they love Prime. They think it's the best place ever. And it could work out for you. If Hirschbach is okay, fine. If not, then out. Right. See, $2,800 working for, that's the other thing. I don't work for an owner-operator because he's got 1 truck, 4 trucks, whatever. I want some benefits. You're not going to get that working for an owner operator. You may not think it's important, but it's pretty nice to be off 5 weeks a year and have your birthday paid and have health insurance. You know, it's all sweet when you need it. You know, when you need health insurance, you're going to wish you had health insurance. So I think that's something that's important. You're going to go in for something. You know, many of you don't know this. I have a friend who lives in Florida. He just had a liver and kidney transplant. Transplant. Okay? I don't have any idea what that costs. A lot. Okay, without insurance, he'd probably be dead. He would have probably died. He almost died as it was. You know, and it's unfortunate somebody else had to die to get him those organs. He's recovering now. They split him open like a fish, he said. So I hope to see him later this year about that or next year. But, you know, without insurance, that kind of thing is not possible. And you never know when that's going to happen to you. You know, now I'm not saying everybody's going to need an organ, but if you need insurance for something big and you don't have it, good luck getting on a list like that. Right. Right. Okay, you're right. Yeah, I don't believe for paying. Well, you know, as a company driver, you don't believe in paying for somebody's truck. We're paying for the company's truck, literally. Our labor is having them buy the truck. Because after all their expenses, they got to believe and paying us that they still make money. That's the only reason they hire us, or everybody would be fired. So they make profit. We're still paying for their truck. That's for sure. Right. 2,800 a week. Right. Okay. Oh, a bright beacon during dark times. Wow. That is something that I'm going to write down. I appreciate that. That's going to go on the web. Yeah. I'm going to quote that. I'm going to tell it to my wife too. I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm a bright beacon during darkness. I'll tell her that. But I do appreciate that. Thank you. I just try to say, you know, what I can say out here with some years of driving experience. In the long run, you make more as a company driver. Look, I think you make more as a company driver than a lease operator. An owner operator with a good contract and $3 a mile may net out more, especially if they own their truck. Yes, Rhino, that is awesome. There's a t-shirt, which I don't mention. I have a Teespring store, right? I don't ever mention that really. Trucking Answers, of course, at Teespring. I have some shirts up over there. I should make a shirt out of that. Right, but I think we always beat the lease operators, because if they had to buy all the benefits that I get, no way do they net any more money than me. No way, because I've seen truck payments for $800 and some a week. That's crazy. That's 40 grand a year for a semi. Who I can lease a Jaguar for $7.99 a month and put it on as a black card Uber. Okay, so I don't think that a lease operator makes more than a company driver. Ha! Yeah, if you pay insurance is super health insurance $1,000 a month. You know, disability and all those insurances, it costs a lot. You had a kidney and pancreas transplant? Wow. Right. Oh, 240 in Australian, right? That's probably $500,000 here. But I'm not sure about that. I don't know what that would translate, but that's still a bargain. I think last time I talked to him, he was closing in on $1 million because he had 2 transplant teams and stuff, and he's got all this follow up, and it's like $4,000 a month for drugs. It's just crazy. It just about killed him. Right. You want to wake up when you want, not have to go to work when you want. Right. I mean, you need just adequate money. That's everybody. You know, just make enough money. Not just to make a meager survival, but you know, if you're working and you're gone 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and then you're home for 3-4 days, what the heck is that? What if maybe if you're doing that for a short period of time, like, oh, I'm going to go do this for a year or 2 years and save up money. That's one thing. But there are drivers that are gone their whole life. Their whole life is spent in the truck. And, their entire lives. And then they're 70 and retire and they die the next year. You've spent your whole life living at work. And for me, that's just not for me. That's just not going to be for me. Okay, why don't I mention my company? Look, like I've said right in these videos, my company has a strict social media policy. If I say the company and then they see the video, they'll be like, oh, well, now you got to be approved because you don't speak for us. They go through it all in their big handbook, their policy. So I don't mention it. That way I can say what I want without being, watched over by a company, because I'm a company driver and I still have to, follow their rules on social media. So if I say that, I could get myself in trouble or have them say something about the videos or that kind of thing. So I just want to talk about trucking itself, without me losing my job or anything like that. That's the story about it. You're an owner operator and you work when you want. Well, I don't know about how that works with a truck payment. You would have to work some. But if you make enough money working the hours that you want, there's more success, right? That's winning, like Tiger Blood, right? That's Tiger Blood winning, as Charlie Sheen would say. Yeah, so you go out, get a load, come back, you can have your off time. But there are guys that are gone. And I think if you have any kind of kids, I just don't see how you do it. You're raising some 3-month-old and a 6-year-old and you're gone home 3 days a month. I don't understand it. I guess I don't get it. That doesn't seem like that's for people then. Okay, but then some people, right, if you're young, live in that truck for 5 years. That's what I've always said to 21-year-olds. If you don't have a career, go live in a truck for 5 years, save all this money, and half your pay or whatever, and then at 26 you have $100,000, $200,000 saved, then go do whatever you want. Now most people won't do it, right? I didn't do it, and I don't know anybody that does it. There's probably people that do it. There probably is. Okay, so you're a trucker. When you own your own truck, you almost have to be a mechanic also. You're a trucker and a mechanic, and that would save you a ton of money. And I agree, owner-operator is not for everyone. These places push people into a lease, which is not being an owner-operator, okay? But then they have this truck payment. It is not for everybody. It isn't. Right, don't take your health, right. Correct, right, and I have talked about that before. You should get out every day, and I do this a lot on Instagram more than anything else. You should get out and walk, right, every day, some. Get out there and walk some. I have that thing in the phone that records your steps or whatever, and so when I try to make sure I have enough steps every day that I get out and walk every day, and you should. It'll add years to your life. You don't have to go do a bunch of deadlifts and stuff. Okay, get out there and walk every day. Go walk for 20 minutes. Go get out every few times a day and walk. We do take our health for granted from sitting all day, and we shouldn't do that. We should talk more about it, really. You should try to stay healthy. And if you have high blood pressure, right, be sure to get your medication, take it, right, and lose weight, as they say, and all that stuff, right? I'm not saying it's something you don't know, but you should get out and walk every day. I try to get out every day and walk, if it's thunderstorming or something, but get out and walk every day. It's good for you. It's good for all of us. We should all do it. And you'll feel better. You'll have a better day at work and everything, right? And the truck stop right there, you can take a shower. That's how it works, right? Well, 2:30, I got to head out of here, right? I'm at 2:34 Eastern time here. I do appreciate everybody coming in, and thank you for coming back in the feed. I apologize again. I'm sorry. If I could do something to the internet, I would do it. This is the only thing connected to it. So, but I'm going to get out of here at 2:30 Friday. Thought I'd pop in. Got to pick the wife up tomorrow at the Indianapolis International Airport. She's coming back from Seattle, where she was visiting her son. So that should be an interesting day down there at the airport. And I hope everybody has a good day and stays safe out there. Thanks, Mr. Jim, and thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate you coming into the lives. If you have any questions, right, be sure to write to me. I'm happy to answer questions for drivers, no problem. Mark at truckinganswersnation.com. You can head over to the website. Everything on there is free for drivers, right, no charge. Go look at it. It's not super built out yet, so don't give me any grief about that. I'm adding phone numbers, and there's stuff on there, and, check out the store, as I say, right, the Teespring. Yeah, you gotta have a spot to park your truck. Oh, and fix everything. Yeah, it's a disaster. And I don't know how to fix stuff, so that isn't going to be something I do. Right, and so, and watch my other videos, of course. And subscribe, of course, as if you haven't, right. Take 10 grams of, okay, yeah. Okay, there's something we could take, right, a natural L-arginine, right. Yeah, so, and walking. Look, walking, the whole earth is our stomping ground. We can walk anywhere we want. Just get out there and start walking. And I'm headed out, so, and read the blog. Read the blog. And that's about it. Thanks for coming in today. I'm out of here. Everybody stay safe, and I'll see you on the road on the next one. Thanks for coming in. See ya.